Clearly, John Kasich has a better chance of winning Ohio than I do, and if a voter in Ohio concludes that voting for John Kasich gives us the best chance to stop Donald Trump there, I anticipate that's what they'll do.
Marco Rubio making news earlier today. You heard him right there calling on his supporters in Ohio to cast their ballots for John Kasich instead during the primary in the Buckeye State. It's worth discussing with a supporter of John Kasich. Skyping in from Holland, Michigan, my old congressional colleague, former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Pete Hoekstra. So, Pete, did this thing from Marco come out of right field?
Well, I don't think it actually came right out of right field. Remember, Mitt Romney was talking about something similar to this, a couple of weeks ago. And so, no, I think Rubio listened to Mitt. This was not something that the Kasich campaign and the Rubio campaign coordinated. I think we were all caught by surprise when Marco brought this up this morning.
Well, the Kasich spokesman thus far has said, look, people need to cast the ballot for the people they support. It doesn't appear John is in this symbiotic relationship with Senator Rubio, is he?
No, I don't think so. I think it's very clear. John's running his campaign. He's letting Marco run his campaign, but more importantly, respecting the integrity of the voters. They will make the decision. And I'm not sure how much, John's not into playing these types of games and believing that he can tell his voters where they need to go and, with the ulterior motive of stopping Donald Trump. John has always been about running his campaign and his platform and trying to get people to come to his agenda and his team.
Obviously, Pete, you are a Kasich supporter. That's one of the reasons we like having you on, to get the view from the Kasich camp. But I'm just interested in your overall view. To see Marco Rubio follow the Mitt Romney suggestion, could that really hurt the notion of getting party unity if, in fact, Donald Trump has a decisive night on Super Duper Tuesday?
I think that's right. I think all of this scheming by whatever you want to call them, the Washington establishment, the Donald Trump haters and those types of things, let each of the campaigns run their campaign, make their case to the voters, and respect the choice of the voters when they have cast their ballots. And if we get to July and we get to Cleveland and Donald Trump has 1,200 plus votes and he's got the nomination, then it's time for all of us to unite behind him. Just like if we get there and John Kasich wins, we expect Donald Trump and his supporters to be fully on board our campaign.
About a minute and a half remains. Let's talk about John Kasich's prospects in his home state of Ohio. Did the Rubio suggestion today just help John solidify his numbers against Trump in the Buckeye State?
Well, of course, I think it's going to help. I mean, we're hoping it will help. The last polls showed John up by 5 or 7 points, but I think we've always been confident about Ohio. This is a governor that has over 70% approval ratings, won the last election with 64% of the vote. These are people that have seen John's conservative policies bring success and prosperity back to Ohio.
There was an interesting piece written that John's popularity at home might hurt him, that residents of the Buckeye State don't want to lose him as governor. Have you heard that? Is there anything to that argument being advanced in some quarters?
I don't think so, J.D. I know that if we were in Michigan and our governor had 2 years left and had the opportunity to be president for 8 years, we would send him there, with him or her there, with our blessing, and we'd be excited that the country would have that kind of capability. I think the people of Ohio would be absolutely thrilled if John Kasich were able to bring those policies and that kind of success to Washington, D.C.
And Peter Hoekstra, we always appreciate you bringing your unique perspective tonight from Holland, Michigan. And I must say, to see that traditional antipathy between Ohio and Michigan wilt away with your support of Governor Kasich is truly gratifying. Thanks so much, Pete.
Back soon.
Okay, sir. Thanks very much. Well, you heard what Pete had to say. Interesting take on the Rubio maneuver. Your comments very much appreciated. Send them to me at newsmaxtv.com/comments.